How's everyone doing today? So you're looking to grow the perfect lion's mane? Well, you came to the right spot. We're gonna cover that and some more. Let's get it. Good morning, everyone. Mike here. I got a great video for you guys today. Today's video is going to be about lion's mane mushroom cultivation, growing the perfect lion's mane, taming the lion. Now, I want to preface this by saying, guys, I have a lot of lion's mane experience. I've been growing this mushroom nearly a decade, and I've grown thousands of pounds of it. So I'm not just some YouTuber who decided to grow a lion's mane grow kit or two. This has literally been my full-time thing for many years now, and I'm going to share everything I know with you today. Let's go. All right, everyone. So for those who are not experienced, this is the lion's mane mushroom. It's kind of like a ball-like structure with these teeth that grow off it. I like to grow them on racks like this, and I let them grow out the side of the bag. People also top fruit them, but I prefer side fruiting. Here you can see, here is a rack full of them side by side. I will typically place about 5 of these mushroom bags on a 4-foot long shelf per shelf. I'll put about 5 bags, and you will see in this next photo how I like to fully arrange a shelf. That is how a shelf should look fully arranged in a fruiting room. There's 25 lion's mane bags on that shelf, and it will grow about 75 up to close to 100 pounds of lion's mane. All right, everyone. So you can see a full rack, like a full 4-foot long by like 6-foot tall shelf. You can easily fit 25 bags of lion's mane mushroom on that rack. All right. Each bag will produce close to 3 pounds of mushrooms. So you're looking at, like I said, 75 pounds of mushrooms per rack if you do a good job. Now, it is also possible, I've gotten monsters growing sometimes, and I've gotten even up to 4 pounds per bag. So in theory, you could almost get 100 pounds of lion's mane per rack. It's very, very prolific for just a small area. And in a short time frame, too, I want to say, how long does a lion's mane bag actually stay in the grow room? Honestly, as little as like 10 to 14 days, depending on the temperature and your growing conditions. So, talking about that, first let's talk about the temperature a little bit. Okay, so your temperature range for lion's mane, for the most part, is pretty wide. There is differences between genetics, but for the most part, you're looking at growing this mushroom between about 60 degrees and about 70 degrees to get the best results. I have grown them in lower temperatures and I have grown them in higher temperatures, but to get the best results, I like in between 60 and 70, kind of averaging around 65 degrees, and you will grow some absolutely beautiful lion's mane. Okay, so we're talking grow room 60 to 70 degrees, and that's the perfect growing condition. Now let's cover the humidity aspect a little bit. All your mushroom fruiting rooms should be entirely humidity and airflow controlled. It should all be automated. So typical humidity range for lion's mane, you want it 85 to 90%. I've experimented with all sorts of ranges. This is where I get the best results. I see stuff online about some guys liking it to drop down to lower humidity numbers so that it can dry the room out a little bit, and then they pump it back up with humidity. Everyone has a different method. I prefer 85 to 90% humidity, and you will grow the best lion's mane over and over again, assuming your airflow and temperature are correct. Typically, if people are lowering the humidity and they're trying to achieve a drying out phase, most of the time I feel like the airflow in that room is not good enough, or there's not enough air circulation. Just with my experience, I've even seen packing grow rooms full of mushroom bags can cut down on airflow and just increase CO2, and you're not going to grow as good a quality. A lot of people think you could just pack these rooms full, but there's a balance point. There's a Goldilocks zone of how many mushroom bags you should actually put in that room so you have top quality mushrooms. All right. So I want to kind of show you a few more pictures right now about the grow room, and I want to talk about how I like to cut the bags open. A lot of people have many different methods for this, so we're going to just talk about the cutting open of the lion's mane bag right now and actually letting it fruit out of the bag and how I like to do that. Here's some shots. All right, everyone. So here's a shelf of lion's mane. As you can see, I have one fruiting body coming out of each bag. This is because I make one cut. I make one diagonal cut to each bag. I will literally place the bag on the shelf, get out, I'll put them all on the shelf, then I'll take out my razor knife and I'll just start slicing diagonals. It goes super fast, and you actually grow the best quality mushrooms this way. Some people make X's, some people make squares. I prefer the one diagonal. All right, you might be like, Mike, why do you only make one cut per grow bag? Wouldn't you get more mushrooms if you make more cuts? I've seen other people make more cuts. Allow me to explain why I do one cut per bag. The reason for that is when you make one hole in that bag, the mushroom is only going to come out of one spot. Okay? When you make multiple holes in that bag, the mushroom could potentially come out of multiple holes, but that mushroom grow block itself only has so much energy. Okay? It's only got so much energy it can use to grow a mushroom. So why don't we put all that energy into one spot? Let's bet it all on one spot, guys. Put it all on black, you know? So that's my mentality. Here's the thing. When you make one hole, you're going to get one supreme quality mushroom, and that's what you want. You don't want like a couple subpar mushrooms. You want one like freaking awesome mushroom, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you're going for. You make one cut because first of all, that saves you time and then you get the best results. So why would you want to do anything else, all right? Now, let's kind of talk about harvesting and why this even makes harvesting easier. So let's say you got one cut, then all you got to do, you got one little thing you got to pull off, and then the beauty, when it comes to trimming and cleaning up that mushroom and you got to clean the substrate off it, there's only one little spot you got to trim, okay? Otherwise, you got lots of pieces you might have to trim. You're going to have to spend more time just messing with everything. That's called touch time. So the more touch time you have, it's just using energy and time. So like I'm saying, that one slice, you're going to get the best quality and it's going to save you time. So that's what you want to do. Can you grow the lion's mane mushroom with other mushrooms? The answer is yes. I've got lion's mane and oyster mushrooms combined in this fruiting room. As you can see, they grow really well together and you won't have any other issues. Here's a shot of lion's mane and Hericium coralloides, or coral tooth, growing together. Two of my favorite mushrooms. These are both Hericiums. I'll have a video on the coralloides in the future, but you can definitely grow the lion's mane with many other species of mushrooms alongside it. Okay, now I kind of want to show you guys what an overcrowded lion's mane grow room looks like. This is a shot back. I believe this was like 2 or 3 years into me growing. I had a pretty big grow room actually, but I was trying to pack that sucker full. Boy, I thought if I had that thing just full of blocks stacking on top of each other, I'd be getting tons of mushrooms. But I want to say, when you do that, you really don't. It's going to come down to quality at the end of the day, and I'll kind of show you side by side, and I'll go back and forth with the photos from a super packed room to a properly filled room, all right? And you will see which mushrooms have better quality. When I had that room packed the first time, I really thought I was doing something, man. But now, with all this experience I have, looking back, I look at that room and I think, man, the CO2 was too high, the airflow just wasn't good as it could have been, and it could have caused bacterial problems, and I would have just had better results had I actually had less mushroom grow bags in that grow room. So let's take a look at that and compare them. Okay, let's check this photo out. This is an overcrowded grow room, and actually you can't see this shelf, but I have a shelf identical to this on the left side of the room, just not in the picture. So I had this thing packed full, not the best quality. Here's what the best quality looks like. Boom, right there. Look at those guys, just fat and thick. And those honestly aren't even done growing. They're getting close to reaching maturity, but they still have another day or two left in them right here before I would pick. Now, even look at this photo. Got them spaced out a little more, not as many on the shelf, but they are chunks, man. I mean, straight up beach ball looking things. So, or volleyball, I should say. But you can see it depends how many you put in a room. It does make a difference. All right, everyone. So that covered the overcrowding aspect of lion's mane. We've covered in this video timing it in your grow room. It's going to take 10 to 14 days. We've covered temperature. It's going to be about 60 to 70 degree zone for lion's mane. We've covered the humidity aspect. It should be about 85 to 90%. We've talked about the overcrowding, like I said. I want to talk to you about lighting right now. Your lighting for lion's mane, I always ran my lights on 24/7. Some guys do a 12/12. It doesn't really matter much. The reason why I left my lights on all the time, it was just less parts. I didn't have a timer involved. I always feel like the best part is no part. So every part could potentially be a fail point. And they grew great for me when I would leave the lights on 24/7. But you do what you want there. As far as what spectrum grow light to use, I use 5000 or 5500 K spectrum white light. You want to use white light for mushrooms. They tend to grow the best in that, and you will just find it's the best spectrum for the job. So that covers all of your fruiting parameters for lion's mane. I want to say the incubation phase, it's very simple. Lion's mane has to incubate for about 10 days to 21 days before it can go in the grow room, depending on the size block you're using. I will make videos just on the incubation phase of mushrooms, but I wanted to keep this specific to fruiting today and just making top quality lion's mane come out of your grow room. I really want to see this next generation of growers coming up just absolutely knocking it out of the park, straight killing it. So that's my hope for the future. I want the future of mushroom growing to just be insane. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. Make sure you drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you have questions, drop it in the comments section below, and I will catch you on the next one.